I'm here to give a presentation on proper hand hygiene. And all right, let's dive right into it. All right, so I'll just go through some housekeeping rules. Just for safety, there's 2 toilets in the building. There's one upstairs and one downstairs, just in case you feel like easing yourself. And mobile phones, please keep on silent for the duration of this presentation. And there's a fire exit just downstairs in case of a fire. Now, the objectives of this presentation, we basically identify who should practice hand hygiene, describe what hand hygiene is, identify where hand hygiene practices should take place, explain why hand hygiene is important, describe when hand hygiene is to be performed, and describe how to perform hand hygiene using various methods, and tips for success for effective hand hygiene. All right. So what is hand hygiene? So basically, this includes cleaning the hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand rub in order to remove germs, also known as microorganisms. So basically, just cleaning the hands to make sure that the hands are clean at all times, because we do use our hands in day-to-day activities. And who should practice hand hygiene? Sometimes it looks like it's only a group of people or a group of people in the workplace that need to practice it, but really it needs to be practiced by everyone. Everyone needs to be practicing appropriate and effective hand hygiene regardless of work status. So I put a wide range of jobs in here. There's nurses, obviously nurses need to, doctors as well, because they do deal with diseases and germs every time. Contractors, pilots, engineers, people that work in the office, even astronauts need to practice hand hygiene as well. So, moving on, where should hand hygiene be practiced? So it's important in all work settings, like we said before. There's some times that people can actually get to wash their hands. So if their hands are not that dirty, providing alcohol-based hand rub at point of care within arm's reach is important. So you find in workplaces that they actually do provide a hand sanitizer at some point. Yeah, and this enables workers to quickly and easily fulfill the 4 movements of hand hygiene. So why is hand hygiene important? This is important. Is the most important way to prevent the spread of germs. We use our hands every day, even from going to the office, touching different things in the train. With the fact that it's flu season now, it's even worse. Hand hygiene helps you keep healthy by reducing the number of germs on your hands, and helps reduce the spread of germs to your family, friends, co-workers, patients, basically people we care about or pretend to care about. Using appropriate hand hygiene prevents contamination of the patient's, client's, or resident's environment. Okay, so when should hand hygiene be done? Before or after eating or preparing food. So before we eat, you're not sure where your hand has been, so you need to either wash your hand or most likely wash your hand. After you eat as well, you need to wash your hands because there might be some leftover chunks of food which can attract germs or microorganisms. After handling waste of any kind, so human waste, when you go to the toilet, every time you go to the toilet, you do need to wash your hands. Chemical or otherwise, if you're in your workplace, you deal with any kind of chemicals, it's advisable to wash your hands after. And after you blow your nose as well, because there's germs and a lot of microorganisms there as well, so we do need to wash our hands. When you cough or sneeze into your hand, so ideally, it's actually not advisable to cough or sneeze into your hands. You either sneeze into your sleeves or into your elbows. So before and after treating a cut or wound, because you never know what kind of infection might be on that, and during times of illness. So how to perform hand hygiene. Proper technique is important when it comes to effective hand hygiene. Without proper hand hygiene technique, we can still spread many organisms with our hands. So now we're going to cover what the different methods of hand hygiene. So using the hand sanitizer and soap and water. So we'll start with the alcohol-based rub. I actually did bring hand sanitizer because I thought we'll be able to demonstrate that. So before we go into that, we just see what this is. So it's a recommended method of hand hygiene in any setting where hands are not visibly soiled. So in the office, for example, where you actually don't do so much work, you can have hand sanitizers around. It kills 99.8% of bugs living in your hand. It might look very, very harmless, but it does kill microorganisms and germs. The gel contains hand moisturizers to keep your hand in good condition. Therefore, using the alcohol gel is much kinder to your hands than soap and water. So, because when we use soap and water, it actually strips our hands of like the oils and all of that. But if you use like a sanitizer, it helps to moisturize the hands better. So this is basically telling us how to use that. So you apply a dime size. I'm going to demonstrate. I'll just read through first. Apply a dime size amount of product into your palms. Rub product into hands, palm to palm. Rub fingertips of each hand in opposite palm, between and around fingers. Rub each thumb clasped in opposite hand. Alright, when I demonstrate, we'll understand what this is. So a dime-sized amount, and then you rub palms together, and then you do this, both hands, and then you do this, and then do this as well. And that's it. And you don't wash it off because you obviously want that to, so you rub hands until dry before performing any task, and you don't wipe off. So would you like to demonstrate that?
Yes, teacher.
So a dime size amount, yep, and rub into hands and palm to palm, that's good. Yep. Yep. That's good. Yep. That's good, and this way. Perfect. Okay. So I just put like a picture demonstration of what just happened. So just because I feel diagrams help better. So spread once or twice onto the palm of your left hand. Dip your right hand fingers into the gel, making contact with your hand. With your palm, transfer into the right palm. Basically what we just demonstrated. Okay, and then soap and water. So this is the recommended method when hands are visibly soiled. So when you see that there's been some kind of dirt on your hands, then you might want to wash. And plain soap is used for routine hand hygiene, while antimicrobial soap is used in acute care high-risk areas. So basically, for those of us that work in the office, we can use plain soap. But for people that work in like the hospital and high-risk areas, they do need something antimicrobial to obviously prevent microorganisms from staying on their hands. So how to wash the hands? So there's a diagram of how to wash the hands. So sometimes it looks like hand washing is just a simple thing. So people just go and then go. But then there's actually a method to wash your hands. So I've brought this very nice picture of how to actually wash your hand. So you wet the hands under running water. You add soap, rub hands together. You clean the back of your hands and wrists, clean between your fingers, rinse thoroughly and dry thoroughly. So basically the same thing that we did with the hand sanitizer. When you wet your hands first and then you rub it together, getting all those parts that are actually usually missed, and then clean between your fingers, rinse and dry thoroughly. And the most important thing, so when you're actually doing this 3, you need to spend at least 20 seconds, doing that. So we've come up with a really nice way of making sure that happens. So when you're actually washing your hands, in your head, you can sing the happy birthday song twice. So happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. When you sing that twice, and you go through, all the parts of your hands, then you'll be sure that you've actually got into all the parts of your hands, and then dry thoroughly. So a lot of people actually miss this part. People just go, wash and go, but then you have to spend 20 seconds actually washing your hands. So, like I said before, there's some parts of the hands that are usually missed. So these points are points that are usually missed on the hand when we're actually washing our hands, because they're in between. So always wash your hands before you put soap on it. It will help to stop them from getting dry, and make sure you dry properly so they don't get chapped. So make sure that you actually get these areas whenever you're cleaning your hands, basically. And then I just put a diagram to show like a hand washing technique, just the one that we showed before. So rub it together, get those tricky parts, and then get the nails as well, because we do know that some germs and dirt can get in the nails. And then each thumb as well, and then the wrist, so part of the wrist as well. So, in conclusion, hand hygiene involves cleaning hands to remove germs. This should be done by everyone and at all work settings, so regardless of where you work, you do need to take care of your hands. Hand hygiene can be done either by hand washing or using alcohol-based hand rub. All right, so any questions?
So what if you're in an environment where there's no washroom, or you have to carry one about?
Yeah, so you can actually put one in your bag. You can buy one from, they sell it everywhere in Kohl's, in Woolworths, in Aldi. You can just buy one and keep that in your bag, because it's actually very important to make sure that your hands are clean. So your workplace is actually supposed to supply one. So in every workplace, there's actually supposed to be this in there. So if it's not there, then they're breaching a health and safety rule. So it should actually be in every workplace. But if your workplace does not supply it, then take care of yourself. Buy one. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like $2. So buy one and keep in your bag and take everywhere.
Thank you.
All right? All right then. Thank you.